everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. So before we start, I will remind you guys this webinar, so you cannot turn on your mic. You can type in questions or in the chat or the question box, or in case you really want to speak with us, please raise your hand or type in the chat so I can turn on your mic. Otherwise, we can start now. So today's we are honored to have a mentor from Nord Security who will introduce about a little bit about Nord Security. And today's topic is from perimeter to I have got difficulty to pronounce this one. Panorama. Okay. Unifying the SASE and threat exposure. So we will talk about NordLayer and NordStellar. These are the two interesting solutions that we can help us to have a more all-around aspect for your security. So let me pull up the slides. Give me a second. Yeah. So thank you for guys to create that. Yeah. So please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mante, and I'm from Nord Security. It's a huge pleasure to introduce Nord, if you haven't heard about it before, to your region. I haven't been to Singapore yet, and I would love to visit it one day. So just to give you the overview of what Nord Security does, that's what I'm going to do here in only a few minutes. So can we maybe jump to the next slide, Kenneth? So the whole history of Nord Security started in 2012, where few founders found the organization. Of course, it wasn't like a decent organization at the beginning, just some initial business moves and creating a product. The first product that Nord was creating was NordVPN, and that launched pretty quickly and escalated to the industry pretty rapidly. So that product is still one of our core products in our umbrella. So Nord Security did start with a NordVPN, and probably many of you know NordVPN from, if you are not using it, then probably from YouTubers, etc. So you probably have heard about it before. But along the way, what happened, the organization actually launched multiple other products as well, just like NordPass, NordLayer, NordLocker, etc. And quite a few of those products were adjusted or adapted towards business needs. So that's how we have built our business suite as an offering for organizations. Let's jump to the next slide, please. So currently, when we think about B2B solutions that Nord Security has, we have 3 solutions that are available for businesses, for MSPs, for resellers. So we have NordStellar, we have NordPass, and NordLayer. NordStellar, in essence, is a platform where you can see all the threats that have been exposed in the dark web. So that's NordStellar. Then NordPass, we have a version for B2C, so the individual users, but also for NordPass, we have a B2B version that could be used within the organization. So if we think about the organizations, they can store passwords, they can share passwords, and then also they can manage passwords super securely. So NordPass is for password management. Then NordLayer is probably closest product to NordVPN as such. So NordLayer is a business VPN, but also on top of that, we have multiple other features that make it a secure network connection solution. So NordLayer has multiple other features on top of just traffic encryption. So if you would be interested in any of those. So version 2 is a perfect partner for you to go to. So please feel free to explore these solutions. Can we jump to the next slide, please? And the reason why Nord was creating these solutions is because there are definitely multiple threats online, and most of us in businesses, especially in international businesses, we work online and we have meetings online, we have webinars online, we do access some of the applications online as well. So that, you know, takes us to a next kind of vulnerability level. And also we do have remote or hybrid workforce. So people do travel, they bring their laptops with them, and they do connect to some, let's say, unsecure internet connections, etc. So what organizations want to do is to make sure that wherever their colleagues are, the connection to the internet is secure. And also we do have, at least in Europe, we have a really strong regulatory compliance requirement. And this is another kind of push for organizations that kind of helps in terms of, or enforces and also encourages organizations to take care of their cybersecurity. So we have this part as well. And of course, data security risks. So I kind of touched base on this a little bit, not only like connecting to the internet, but also accessing data could be not that secure. So in order to make sure that we cover at least most of these challenges, that's why we have NordStellar, NordLayer, and NordPass. Can we jump to another slide? And yeah, so I did put that in because we, as a vendor, we provide, I think, pretty high profit margins to our partners and in general partner programs. So definitely there are multiple benefits why you should work with us. Probably one of the things that I'm super proud of is the 24/7 support. And when it comes to support, it's not only the technical support, but also we provide advice, let's say, on the marketing. We provide all the materials and marketing as well. And if there is a need for, let's say, sales actions, go-to-market activities, we are more than happy to work with you together, etc. And then, of course, all the technical support is there. So we do have the chat, the specific emails where you can request some of your, let's say, some help. And you also have, you get the account manager who helps you to manage all of the questions that you might have. Shall we jump to the next slide? I think the last one. Yes, and our partners, so they are really happy, and in general we do get a lot of positive feedback because we see that not all the vendors focus that much on their partners, but we have a huge focus there. The main strategy of going to the market is through partners, through distributors. So we would be more than happy to work with you. And again, if you have any questions, you can definitely drop me a line or Kenneth, or in general, just reach out to version 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meta. Okay, so now it's my turn. I will start to the go to the more in-depth to showcase how NordLayer plus NordStellar can help, especially for SMB in Singapore, because in Singapore we have lots of SMB in the market, and we do see an increase and the rising of digital transformation of SMBs in Singapore. They having adopting the cloud mail using much more cloud services. And on the other hand, the cyber threats evaluate and targeting them quite hardly. So so the point is they were a problem on like a credential leak. They don't have visibilities to their network, and also there's problem that if they adopt others technologies, they may be too complex for them, or the cost is too high for them. Maybe it's not possible to spend a big sum of money to just adopt like a NDR or something like that for SMBs. So in many cases, a NordLayer and solutions from Nord Security, I do find a good fit for them. This is the correct slide. Okay, so today is a okay. So from perimeter to perimeter, it means because in the old days, we of course still many SMB using like a single server, a single Windows server, or on-prem, or just a few NAS, and they operate with a central network. But the point is, we start to digitize and transform using many cloud services. So having a firewall, having an antivirus itself is far from enough for them. And the cyber criminals do find there's a loophole because they're new adopters. They may blindly trust that, or maybe Google Workspace, maybe Microsoft M365 do take care of the security very much, but they don't foresee there's a problem for account takeover or the leaking credential from the same email in other websites will create a account takeover or penetration risk for them. The next is they don't have any unified platform for them to oversight or the risk or attacks actually happening to their cloud accounts or the device or the email or the domain. They don't have such kind of resources. Traditionally, we go for SIEM, or others is really to go too far for SMB, right? So I do think Nord Security provides some solution that integrate and fit their needs. It is smarter, faster to protect all the SMB. There's no complex deployment. There's no complex configurations. You just deploy it, turn it on, and it will work for you. I'll explain more later. Okay. So let's talk about the Nord Security. I think we already discussed before. So what is LastPass, NordLayer, and NordStellar. Then next slide is I will give you more detail on NordLayer and NordStellar. So let's start from NordLayer. So as said, a NordLayer is a you can say is a business version VPN, but it is not that. Not just that. We have features that make you easily to achieve like those complex, expensive SASE solutions, but we also can adopt to provide you a very good alternative to them. We provide similar capability, but much easier to adopt. For SASE, you may not really understand that, but it creates some cloud native security and network platform to help you to prevent threats, and also allow you to have a more secure access to your on-prem or the cloud assets. And of course, very important, we have a centralized management. So no matter how many sites you have, how many device you have, even I said is SMB, even you have a 10,000 of device, you can just deploy it and roll out in very short time period, because we are a very scalable platform and ready to use for any number of device. Because as you imagine, how many users now NordVPN supporting, then you understand how big our infrastructure is. There's no worry for scaling up or scaling out for your cloud and other deployment. And we implement zero trust secure model for you with very simple way. As long as you integrate with your AD or your cloud account, then you can access your NordLayer with a centralized identity. Then we can manage your network segments, have different gate rates. Each gate rates may have their own dedicated IP, and if we build in a SASE firewall between those network segments, so we can have a precise control, like after you access a VPN, and then we can set up a site-to-site VPN, then you can control a user even no matter where they're from. Okay, after you identify it is really your employee through MFA, then you can provision them, like you can access accounting software only, you can access this or that server only, or some of the cloud solutions only. So it is a cloud native zero trust controller that help you to adopt zero trust architecture quick and easily. Yeah. For other solutions that you may need to have a certain deployment, integrate with AD, and do lots of network stuff and segmentation, and become very complex. But NordLayer can have roll it out very, very quickly and easily. And we support hybrid environment. So that means in case you still have some on-prem network, or even for example, you have a NAS that you want to access through NordLayer, that's not a problem. You can set up a site-to-site VPN, as I said, and then you can have a SaaS firewall. Then you can access from anywhere securely through NordLayer. And of course, for many compliance, it requires you have a not mentioning zero trust in many compliance, but you have to secure network and then make sure your data is secure in transit or in rest, and you have to manage identity. Many of those require such kind of functional features that NordLayer already provide out of the box. So that's why I would say it is easy to use, but function-rich solutions to protect your network and remote access. So there's a graph to illustrate that you can have your NordLayer with protocols that you can ship your device through our protocol and connect to the cloud. So we can and you support multiple different kind of protocol. There's a called NordNice, so which is a proprietary protocol created by NordLayer, which is a proven, quick, and secure VPN protocols. Of course, you can still use IPsec or OpenVPN protocol, TCP/IP. But by default, we should use the NordLayer one. It's just much faster. And besides those, your private gateway, we offer you many countries share server. In case your user is like roaming users, you just need a secure network access to ensure privacy. Then you can make use of any our cloud share server. And one very important use case, in case you go to some country that's blocking such kind of certain access. To me, for example, when I travel to China and Hong Kong, I cannot use ChatGPT. That's my most loved tools nowadays. Then I use NordLayer to connect back to our Singapore gateway, or some Hong Kong, not Hong Kong, sorry, Taiwan, any others gateway. I usually go Singapore or US. Then you can use your ChatGPT once again. Yeah. So many others application. We shouldn't talk about Netflix because we should not use business VPN to do watching Netflix, but many applications actually do have some control and limitation. Then you can use NordLayer to help you to work around and also protect your connections, to hidden your IP address, to make sure your connections are encrypted. So do make sure that, and you can choose which you can just open none of them or few of them. It's up to you. And we also have a layer technology to ensure security. So we have a centralized console to have an admin layer as an admin layer, and we have a security layer that we have our AES 256-bit encryption, and we can integrate MFA through either biometric or tokens. It depends on your device. If your device support biometric authentication, strongly recommend you using it. Otherwise, you can use MFA to access our accounts. And the cloud layer, we have a private servers and other smart remote access control. So let me explain a little bit of private server. As I said, we have a shared server, right? But you can also rent a private server from NordLayer. So you have a dedicated server, dedicated IP address, then you can have much more things to do. For example, if you have a private server and then you manage those users through the private gateway, and then when they log in, they can choose like, for example, we are using name a private server as version 2 gateway, something like that. Other accesses, I will have a dedicated IP address. Then I can limit some of our SaaS application only can access from either from our office address or the address from private server for NordLayer. Then we can fully enjoy the flexibility of a SaaS and stability of that. But we can avoid lots of problem like account takeover, penetration, or something like that, because as you can imagine, if you like, for example, using M365, everyone have a valid credential, may able to access your email. You may mention, oh, there's MFA. Yes, there's MFA, but sometimes people didn't turn it on. Somebody got some have some Trojans to work around it to steal your MFA token, something of that. So if with NordLayer, you can add additional layer of protection. So making sure your SaaS application or your in-house application is having additional layer. And on top, there's a level segmentation. As I said, you can segment different teams of user. They cannot access that resources that not belongs to their team. So you can limit the lateral movement of hackers or your bad behavior users. So there's a multi-layer security technology can help you to remove or minimize those no matter hackings or the possibility of a data leak or account takeover or lateral movement. So this is much secure when you after adopt NordLayer. So let's talk about NordStellar. So NordStellar, I think, is really good and interesting solutions. Well, it is really, I would have to say, yeah, it's really a next-gen threat exposure management platform. Why? In many threat exposure management platform, they may simply give you some, they monitor your cloud footprint, your server footprint, and then some of them may have some threat intelligence like IOC, whatever, but NordStellar do have much more. Okay, so how is team benefits from the NordStellar? First of all, it reduces the risk of ransomware, prevent account takeover, and identify exposure to malware. And we can detect compromised credential. Okay, so protect employees from identity threats. Why? Because we have the largest database for a leak credential. So in case we find there's a match accounts that we found from the dark web, we'll notify. Why this is important? Because people usually will share password with different accounts. They don't want to remember so many passwords. Of course, if you're using NordPass, you have easily overcome this, but not everyone using it, right? So people will try to having same password, even if so-called is very complex one. But the point is, have you ever heard like Facebook and Google or Microsoft or whatever, many large organizations, they have data breach. So that means people or hackers or cyber criminals steal their user database. Maybe only get the hash, maybe even get a clear text password. The problem is if you share the password and someone steal the credential from any one of those organizations, then they will, of course, try to access with the same user and password to all these major systems. In result, your account being taken over, right? And you may have a risk to have being ransom your data, many others. So monitoring the dark web to find out data breach that really hits you is very important, because you never knows. You will not know. Okay, if one day you see a news from, I don't know, Facebook or any others bank or organization, they say, oh, they being stole 10,000, 100,000 of credentials. You will not know any of your employees or your staff or your customer using those systems, right? Before you see, oh, there's a list of leaked credential, that NordStellar help you to discover and telling you, okay, this account is being compromised. Well, you cannot help them to get it back, but what should you do? Reset your password and check up, is there any suspicious access, wherever. Make sure you have MFA and others. So it's very important to have such kind of intelligence, and it is not easy to get it. Some is free, of course, because it's already being resold many times in the dark web, but some is not that cheap if you want to have it. So using NordStellar, you can enjoy all those data, and they keep growing that data. You make sure your data breach, you'll be notified at once. And one more thing is very important is we have a extensive dark web monitoring capability. So you can search or set up a rules. Is there any, you may interested, is there any hackers talking about our company domain or our IP address or our product in the forum? Because many they may not be cyber criminal, but every hackers is love to share if they did something great. They think they're great, okay? Maybe it's really great. I don't comment on that. But if you don't monitor or you don't search on those, you will never know. But if I telling you, oh, in that Russian, in Russian language, it's talking about your domain. Maybe for the loophole, or you are the one of the list, they do some vulnerability scan, or they newly find some vulnerabilities. They may release I don't know, 10,000 lines of sites that having that vulnerability that they newly found. Do you want to know that? Do you want to protect yourself before really some hackers selling that information and the others take actions? Of course you do, right? Because especially if you having a e-commerce website, or you have a high-profile business, or you're in a high-profile industry, that you definitely want to know if someone talking about you in a bad intention, right? So extensive dark web monitoring, it helps. And you need not to search it yourself. You can just set in rules. Then we will help you to monitor and send you and let you know, is there something not that good is about you on the forums and those posts in those web. So we protect your company brand and with data breach monitoring and dark web monitoring. So let's talk more about what we can do for the platform of dark web ecosystem. So we would look after the hacking communities, the dark web forums, And we also have the cyber criminal Telegram channels. Telegram you can join, but it's too many, right? And sometimes you have to think twice before joining them, because you're one of them doesn't mean they don't want to attack you, right? And there's some illegal markets in dark web, especially. They may selling information, selling vulnerabilities, selling database. So we will also monitor them. So some financial crime, ransomware box, or some ransomware service website you can mention. And there's others lists that we will monitor. So if you just put in your domain, your IP, or your brands, or your product name, that can help. So we let you know about the is there signal of malware, is there leaking your company data, is there any exposure credential, and any others keyword or real-time monitoring. So we can give you some actionable alerts of, like if there are vulnerabilities, if there leaking password, that you can reset and handle it. So you may say, oh, there is some website have a database that we can search for leaking credential, right? But size does matter, because I have say NordStellar having the largest database. One of the main reasons, because they have large number of users from NordVPN, that you may know they don't want their customers being accounted over and using that VPN to doing bad things. So they will do actively collect all those kind of the data breach on the dark web or another resources. So we have a large number of database that we can provide you most accurate, I would say, try to be most accurate, yeah, data leak information that your credential already leaked to the dark web somewhere. So that can be email and username, password, session cookies, credit card information, phone numbers, document IDs, and many others. So we will have those information to let you to search through. Then you can find out is that data leak yourselves, and do helps. Okay, so that's why you should choose NordStellar but not others. And also very important is to protect your employees and customers from account takeover prevention and session hijacking prevention. So we will have there's a 354% increase of account takeover attacks last year. What does it mean? Three times of account takeover, because there's a reason why. Because as many and many more SMB going online for their email or their order processing or Salesforce and many others, that become more and more easy because you have more and more users there. And in the old days, we may have more enterprise, they may have more protection of the accounts, or they may have do more things on that, but SMB usually with the limited resources. But we start to exploit it. So that means there is a window for hackers to make use of those maybe not the best practice or the bad behavior for users. They sometimes even mean to turn off the MFA for certain reason. And sadly, is most likely is a VIP user have the most privilege and most valuable data. They turn off the MFA because they don't like it. However, the number of account takeover increase a lot. That's one of the major problem now we can see for the SMB and also large corporate. And one more thing is that most of the users believe that the relative site, for example, Facebook or Microsoft or others, is responsible for the account takeover protection. But the point is not fully from them. You have to protect your account yourself, like, for example, at least not turning off the MFA, and even you turn it on, you have to create at least a good password, or you don't put your MFA token to the cloud or put it somewhere that like if others easy to take over or get it. And most of the breach is about human enemies, and many of them are social engineers. So we of course we have to educate the user. We can set up many other configurations, but at the end of the day, we still need to know, is there any something being leaked, and we can review and fix our loophole to avoid, like for example, this is a very simple flow. A malware infected, the stolen the credential, account being taken over, and then getting more credential, data breach, more stolen credential, and then more credentials will be stolen and include administrator rights. Then will result in ransomware attack, because initially they may have a end user with low privilege, but then they can get try to get a high privilege account somewhere through account takeover or internal attack, lateral movement. Then they can do a high privilege account, and then they have a ransomware attack. So why STellar? So we have a one single platform that can provide a largest deep web and dark web monitoring data pools. So not just data breach, but also dark web. Oh, sorry, but give me a second. Sorry, some technical problem. Okay, let's go on. So which is a single platform that also we provide dark web monitoring and also credential data breach monitoring. So in a single platform, some of the other tools may only give you a deep credential or one domain monitoring at very, very high cost. And there's a 100+ million customer protected by NordStellar from account takeover. Of course, it's talking about not VPN users and many others. So we can help you to have more user means more exposure. We have a backup platform for you. And we have proven threat exposure management expertise. Over the years, we helping monitoring the accounts from NordVPN and NordLayers. So we have a long history to monitor to protect it. At least you don't see too many account takeover or news about NordVPN have large number of users being exposed or something like that. So it's proven. Well, So I do mention we are having a largest database for credentials leak. So how can I compare? So here is a comparison from Have I Empower. This is a open source database you can search yourself anytime. So it's quite a large differences. So one is talking about hundreds, then talk about K, and accounts much more. And we have more information like malware logs. Is that some logs that from no some attacks or some malware, they will have some footprint on the cloud or in the dark web that which user they being abused. So we have such kind of information that you can find certain user is being infected or controlled by some malware. They have some root footprint there. They have some logs. So we have such database to telling you not just your credential being controlled, or some malware attack is having your log and your credential there. It means you are infected. Very interesting, right? And we have some certain cookies. Yeah, we have the database also, so you can have search from them. So it's much function rich and have much larger database. Well, need that to say the dark web monitoring and data breach monitoring. So yeah, so there's a comparison. Okay, so as I mentioned from very beginning, we would like to introduce you to combining NordLayer and NordStellar to have a more unified zero trust plus exposure management. So with your company network and all your SaaS application protection, NordLayer can helps you a lot with adopting zero trust architecture, and also beyond your network. You still want to know, is that our account being stolen in certain kind of website, or is there some loophole we can find from our website or domain which NordStellar can adopt? So it enhanced the visibility. So you knew what happened within your organization and your SaaS application, but also what happened outside. Yeah, especially in the dark web. So with stronger risk posture, you can have and understand what's actually going on within or outside your organization, not just for cloud, but also those dark web stuff. So I would say if you are a small company or medium-sized company in Singapore, I think this solution is very fit for you because it's easy to deploy, and many features you just need to turn it on and then you can start to using it. There's no complex configuration, no complex deployment, and you did not too much resources on deployment and don't need to pay a very high cost for professional services. And it helps you to comply with PDPA and other security audit requirements locally in Singapore, because we do the zero trust architecture, we have the dark web monitoring, exposure monitoring. It helps a lot. And very importantly, both NordLayer and NordStellar are cloud native, so you need not to invest any additional anything on your infrastructure. You just have the account and start to deploy and using it. So there's a few use case that remind you why you need those features. First of all, we still have many remote work in Singapore and worldwide actually. After COVID, many staff may have every 1 or 2 days per week, or some companies still change to fully remote mode. There's still an office, but the office usually for meetings. Staff may not necessary to have a sit in somewhere in the office. So there's a lots of change after COVID, and remote work become more and more important and more common. So work from home, doesn't mean that they really work from home. They can work from anywhere. So they can connect through many different kind of network that you may not have full control, or that site may have proper security. So having secure NordLayer that helps to secure and manage all those remote device. First, make sure they have a encrypted network connections. Second, we also support some an endpoint device secure posture check for NordLayer. So if the device may be borrowed from their friends or neighbor when they have outside, they may not have any security measure there. Then we may reject it because, well, you have no AV and then it's a Windows XP. Why still not login, right? So that can have an additional layer of defense to unify the quality of security of those devices before they get access to your cloud, your on-prem network, wherever when they join into NordLayer or our VPN network, right? And there's a credential breach protections. So there's a few case of FMB, they leak their data or their membership information being leaked. You may not able to know that before you see the database, but not much people will have the chance to download the database and search if their names there. But NordStellar help you to have early warning or credential protection. And on the other hand, if you're running a business with memberships, you can import your customer database to help you to monitor. In other way, one, does the customer have other sites having data leak affecting you? Then you may take some countermeasure to protect them. And dark web surveillance for financial service. So recently there were OC, I think not recently, but previously we have an OCBC phishing incident that trigger much concern. And frankly speaking, there we have quite many phishing like shopping site, whatever, quite a lot, right? So so NordStellar have a dark web monitoring and scanning through the liquid credential, or not just that. And even as you as a company, you should know, is there any websites? Okay, it's not, the domain may similar to yours, but it's not owned by you. While the site looks similar to your website. What does it mean? Is of course it's a phishing, right? So NordStellar also help you to find out, dig out such kind of website that you can have some countermeasure before you being report or notified from police or others cybersecurity company, or you have your company have some targeting, some phishing site targeting your brand. You should do something, or they will already help you to report or something, but you may need to do it more proactively. That NordStellar can help you to monitor. On the other way around is that if you find a phishing site exists, that means there should be some victims already being targeted, or some account being stolen. You can rely on NordStellar to help you to find is that some data is being leaked. So locally for Singapore, we do have such kind of use case and problems that triggers we need such kind of next gen cyber threat intelligence and exposure management tools. So that is today's sharing. Hope can help you guys to understand more why we suggest there's combination, and what's about NordLayer, what's about NordStellar. If you have interest to take a look of a trial or have a further detailed demo, please do let us know. Okay, now is Q&A sections. So if you guys have any questions, please kindly type in the chat box or in the question box. I will answer you guys any questions. No matter it's about NordStellar, NordLayer, or NordPass, or any others. Okay, seems you guys don't have question. Let me answer some frequently asked question first. Well, usually people will ask is a NordLayer secure? How does it secure? Of course, I think first of all, VPN is a quite mature technology for the handshaking connections encryption part. So you need not to worry about that. And also, as I shown, we have multi-layer of security that ensure of your control and measure is secure and protected. And all of them having audio logs. So in case you want to monitor it's a suspicious behavior, sometimes suspicious usually not just a system or software, but more people behavior. So you take a look for the audio log. Is that something strange you know? And yeah, so this quite commonly asked about NordLayer. And of course, some will ask, can we trial? As I said, you can have a free trial anytime. And one more thing people will usually ask me, how does it license? So for NordLayer, very simple. You have different function features pack. Then you choose number of user. That's it. For NordStellar, we mainly license for number of domain, and we also have a different tier of licensing. We have you may typically you have multiple access or more IP or email address, whatever. So we can talk about it offline, or you can book a demo with us. Then we can discuss your use case more. Okay, that's all from me. Is there any other final words from Meta? Okay, that's all. Okay, anyway, if you got any questions, please contact us. We will answer you shortly, and thank you for your time. Thank you very much. Good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.